afternoon to you, and thank you very much for logging on to Great Television and watching G News in Brief. Today is the 26th of February 2018, and you are watching G News in Brief with me, Jeremiah. And today's story is the headlines. Cameroon deploys more troops to fight armed separatists, and President Weah seeks Paris aid to jumpstart Liberia's economy. And in our third story, BBC launches 2018 Komla Dumont Award. Boko Haram search stepped up for 110 kidnapped girls. And in our last but one story, President of Emperor Xi Jinping pushes China back to one-man rule. Fire explosion we had yesterday engulfed an area in Leicester that has taken about 11 lives so far. And then we will be looking at the renowned evangelist Billy Graham's final departure as we deliberate on his passing away from this particular planet Earth. Today is the 26th of February 2018, and you are watching G News in Brief live on Great Television with me, Jeremiah. And Cameroon deploys more troops to fight armed separatists. Defense Minister Joseph Bertie Asomo has said that although many soldiers have been killed, the military remains determined to fight and defeat armed separatists who are bent on destroying the country. Cameroon has deployed more troops to its English-speaking region after another wave of attack on public buildings and kidnapping of military and government officials by suspected armed separatists. Mr. Moki Edwin Kinzeka reports from Yaoundé. A Cameroon military band plays as hundreds of their colleagues are deployed to the troubled English-speaking regions of the Central African states. Defense Minister Joseph Bertie Asomo says they should be very professional in executing their duties. President Weah of Liberia seeks Paris aid to jumpstart Liberians' economy. France pledges 10 million euros grant to Liberia for immediate road maintenance while modalities are worked out for a more comprehensive and sustainable development assistance package for the country. President George Weah's first visit outside of Africa in less than a month in his presidency is about to pay off. While visiting France, a place that he has been calling as his home, French President Emmanuel Macron promised to assist Liberia in its developmental drive. This move is changing the narrative in Liberia's foreign policy. Traditionally, Liberia president, upon taking office, first visit outside of Africa is the United States, but the new destination is expected to jumpstart the Liberian economy. BBC has also launched a 2018 Komla Dumont Award. The BBC is seeking a rising star of African journalism for the BBC World News Komla Dumont Award, now in its fourth year. Journalists from across the continent are invited to apply for the award, which aims to uncover and promote fresh talent from Africa. The winner will spend 3 months at the BBC headquarters in London, gaining skills and experience. Application, we've been told, is going to close on the 23rd of March 2018. In Nigeria, Boko Haram search stepped up for 110 kidnapped girls. Nigeria has deployed extra troops and planes to search for 110 schoolgirls believed to have been abducted by the Boko Haram militants last week. The girls went missing after jihadists stormed their school in the town of Dapachi in the northeastern Yobe state on the 19th of February. President Muhammadu Buhari said it was a national disaster and apologized to the girls' family. The attack has revived memories of the Chibok schoolgirl abduction in 2014. Anger has been growing among the girls' parents and reports that soldiers had been withdrawn from the key checkpoints in the Dapachi since last month. President or Emperor Xi Jinping pushes China back to one-man rule. The announcement on Sunday that China would drop terms limits on the presidency clears the way for Xi Jinping to rule the countries indefinitely. However, analysts warn that what initially seems like a demonstration of absolute power be a sign of weakness, with Xi Jinping's apparently unwilling to allow the rise of a potential political rival. Now, yesterday, a news that came to us said that there's been a fire explosion all the way in Leicester, and so far 11 lives is been taken. Leicestershire Fire and Rescue received calls yesterday from the public at 7:30 p.m. of an explosion which is being confirmed taking 11 lives, and 4 still in hospitals as at the time we received this particular report, who are receiving medical attention. And so you can see this particular fire explosion on our set now, where you can watch some of the fire outbreak, and you can actually see how the fire is engulfed. The whole area is being set ablaze, and you see people videoing with their phones. And we always want to say that we wish the families that have lost departed souls fare thee well, and may their soul rest in perfect peace. In our final story, we look at the evangelist Billy Graham, whose final departure has been earmarked in the United States of America. And for the past weeks, all the media houses is been broadcasting about this legend evangelist who is being called to eternity. And most people have said good things about this renowned evangelist, Dr. Billy Graham. And so we will be watching some of the videos where he was being sent from the funeral home all the way to his home country, all the way in North Carolina. And I believe we'll be seeing the video shortly on our set as we go on with this particular news, as we make sure that the necessary fare thee well message goes out to this great legend, great potential, and also a father of the Christendom, Dr. Billy Graham, who has been called to eternity. You can see the videos just rolling on your set at the moment, where he was being taken out from the funeral home where he was sent to. And now you could see the corpse and then the coffin being brought out of the funeral home, whilst the necessary people carrying him in the coffin. You can see that on your screens at the moment. There were 7 men that were helping to carry this great legend into the vehicles that were going to be used in transporting him from the funeral home all the way to his home country in North Carolina. You could see this great, elegant men carrying him onto the vehicle, very posh car. I'm sure it could be one of their Chryslers. I'm not too sure about that, but you could see that in your shot where he's been carried into the car that will be carrying him all the way to his home country in North Carolina, where he will be laid in state. And as we talk at the moment, reports reaching us says that everything is on the way, preparation is underway, and the tent where he's going to be laid in state is also being mounted. And security, I can promise you, is very tight. This is a man who has been a confidant to many presidents, including Donald Trump and then George Walker Bush, and just the past President Obama, who has been a very celebrant president in America. And thank you for watching Great Television, and you are watching G News in Brief with me, Jeremiah. Before we take leave of you, a recap of the headlines. And Cameroon deploys more troops to fight armed separatists. President of Liberia, George Weah, seeks Paris aid to jumpstart Liberia's economy. And BBC has launched a 2018 Komla Dumas Award. And in Nigeria, Boko Haram said step up for the 110 kidnapped girls. President or Emperor Xi Jinping pushes China back to one-man rule. And in our last but one story, fire explosion in Leicester confirmed having taken 11 lives. And then in our final story that we looked at, the renowned evangelist Billy Graham, whose final departure to his home country was done over the week and during the weekend. Thank you for watching today's episode of G News in Brief with me. My name again is Jeremiah. Same time tomorrow between 3 and 3:30, we'll come your way again with another episode of G News in Brief. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.